Thank you, Nicole. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that. I met Nicole. She reached out to me right after we got funded about 17 months ago and said, I love what you're doing. And I looked at what this community was doing and said, I love what you're doing. And we met and said, let's be friends. And it's been a great journey. You don't meet that many women who worked at the level that we have in the games industry. So it takes a certain kind of mettle to do that. So I'm going to talk to you about what we're doing at Tripp. And uh, we like to think of it more. Whoops. How do I
Tripp
go
is a
back?
move.
Whoa, that was fast. Can you guys help me get back together? Um, Tripp is really a toolkit for helping you train yourself to have self-regulation over your emotional well-being. That was my partner, Zach Norman. I wanted to introduce him properly because he couldn't be here, and I'll let him tell you what he thinks we're doing at Tripp.
Tripp is a mood on demand platform that's powered by VR. It's great at giving people who are stressed out and otherwise not calm a moment of respite from their busy day. Put it on their head, use it for 8 to 10 minutes, and come out feeling calm and refreshed and ready to attack the next challenge that they see in the day. It's designed to elicit a response similar to that someone gets while meditating, but it does it in a fully turnkey way where a user simply needs to put on the headset and start the software, and they're guided to a state that focuses their mind. And it does it by using the flow state generated by gameplay, certain audio stimulation like binaural audio, and by encouraging correct breathing.
Okay, and so you can try it upstairs. We have about 5 stations going, and we're really excited about what we've built. As I mentioned, I come from the games industry, and Zach and I are business partners this is our 4th company together. We've had multiple exits together and independently. Our CTO comes from neuroscience and pharmacology background, but also loves to make video games. And the rest of the team we've built with like-minded individuals who are really motivated by the purpose that we have as a company to build experiences and use our skills to help people. My journey started really with Tripp. I was an investor in Oculus through my friendship with Brendan Uribe, the founding CEO of Oculus. We worked together at a cloud gaming company. And once they had a working prototype, he invited me, my cousin, my husband in this picture with Brendan, and my partner Zach Norman to come and try an early version. And we were so moved by the immersion, which we felt was the native property in VR, because it seemed to have this multiplying effect on everything you experienced. It was about 6 weeks after this visit that my husband Victor, who's in the picture, was diagnosed with liver cancer. And we were told that he had 8 months to live, and it was really 8 weeks later that he was gone. And he had a very deep meditation practice that he learned in Tibet, a Vajrayana practice. He was next level meditator, 5 hours a day. I do a paltry 1.5 to 2 hours a day comparatively. And, but he left here in the most exquisite way. And it really taught me, though, that we don't have a lot of time here, and what are we going to do with the time that we have? And so as I emerged from that year of grief, I started to think about what does the company look like that I want to build, and what are the properties of it? And, talked to Zach, who I love working with, and said, let's bring all these things together that we love: meditation, video games, and put them all together in a way that could be unique and fun. So my only regret is that Vic hasn't been able to ever see what we have built with this, because I know he would love it. But Tripp, we believe, helps you have agency over how you feel. And it's not a VR meditation app. It's not a psychedelic LSD Tripp simulation. It is an engine that is calculated with a machine learning layer and a procedural experience generator. That's what we spent most of the last year building. So it's different every time you trip. It changes every day. And we want to build a catalog of experiences that you can jump into and emerge feeling differently. And it will learn over time what works for different cohorts as well as for the individual. The experience, our first experience that we've created is called Focus, and it brings your attention to the present moment. Uh, uh, I'll go through what some of the elements are, but now that the engine's built, we can use it to craft these other experiences. Can we make you feel more confident? Can we help you sleep better? Can we connect you to a feeling of gratitude when you feel disconnected from your life and the experience around you? And some of the ingredients are interactive flow triggers through gameplay mechanics, especially that skill challenge ratio. Guided meditation, we visualize breath, as Zach mentioned, sound frequencies. And daily updates are really important for us because consistency is what makes something really have real change. One of the other things, we are big on measurement, so I loved seeing what Intheon is doing. We take a self-reported measurement starting at your session and at the end of it, and through a 10-point scale as well as a randomized display that changes, you can select your mood for that moment, and then we bookend the experience, and the machine starts to learn what works for you through the self-reported interface. Our mobile app will eventually start to allow you to tie biometric inputs in. This will be ready at the end of the year, and you can sync your wearable data to that. And then we would love to get some more BCI interfaces coming in to our back end. But the whole system is designed with that data process flow in mind. Our first customer is a substance abuse clinic in Los Angeles. They brought Tripp in as a grounding mechanism for their outpatient clinic. So they have all 10 of their clients trip at the same time before they go into group therapy. And you can see their starting mood selected worried, tense, upset. And by the end of the session, these people with very loud heads in early recovery are reporting calm, inspired, and relaxed. And this is especially meaningful to me. I lost a sister 5 years ago to a drug overdose, and I've had many friends and family be affected by the ravages of substance abuse and addiction. And so it's a program we want to scale. Our main focus as a company is to bring our offering into corporate wellness programs. We're starting to ship right now. We just signed our first big enterprise customer, and we're delivering to them the first week of December. And then we will scale out to personal, and we have goals to enter into therapeutic use cases, and would love the help of this community to support us in that endeavor. This is what it looks like in a company. We can come in and kind of do a fun activation, and then from that we create internal demand across a corporation. We have a whole installation, and we sell it as a subscription service model that we're designed for as a company. And the cool thing is, people are open to it. The most conservative companies are excited about what we're doing. They're bringing in meditation, training into their corporations. They understand that employee mental health and a sense of well-being is really important for their success as a company. And because we understand there is a real cost to stress. The absenteeism causes a reduction in productivity and performance overall. Even just decisions you make in a company can take people who are feeling pretty normal and stress them out. And so we want to help be a solution in that. I know there are many other companies going in, and the receptivity and the climate is, I think, much greater than I was expecting. So that's how we're focused as a company, and I think, in order for a community like the transformative tech community to have real impact, we have to start to create sound business ideas that get out there our focus on work first is important to us because it's an area where people are most unhappy, and we can have real impact. This weekend, I was in Honolulu, my hometown. That's where I get the weird name, Nanea. And I saw a friend of mine I hadn't seen in a while who's very sick. His name is Ron. He has been diagnosed with liver cancer. His doctors tell me he has about 90 days left. And he tried Tripp, and he had such a deep connection to it. He said it actually helped him reframe how the next stage of his journey was going to go. And I told my team that, and the next day they created a personalized experience for him with images of his life, because that's a feature that we have in the Tripp experience. And we shipped it out to him yesterday, and I can't wait to hear what his reaction is to that. That makes it all worthwhile. When you see stuff like this and you see the data coming in from Rise LA, I think that's why we're all here. And that is really, I think, just the foundation, because the vision for the future that we have is even much greater, that we will eventually create an experience that is very personalized to you, that comes from your internal state and delivers to you an experience in real time that will help you transform your worldview. We're just tapping into little inklings of those experiences and gifting that to people like we did with Ron. But I'm more excited about the presentation I could give here in about 5 years, when the tech advances even more. So I just want to end with some user feedback video. It's a couple minutes, and really want to thank you for listening.
Meditation, it takes a lot of effort to get into the headspace, but this thing, it helps you get into it directly, which is awesome.
I feel enlightened. I don't know, that's for the term, that word's coming to my head, almost spiritual.
That was just beautiful. Oh, wow.
It definitely took you out of the real world and put you into a world which was a combination of objects and shapes you're familiar with, sounds that you're familiar with, but it was a genesis of those shapes into forms that were relaxing.
What I really dug about it was the composition of the experience itself was way more powerful than just the technology or the beauty or the images or the sound. It was actually the narrative that I was taken through, and the personal experience I was encouraged to have was something that I've wanted to see in VR and felt like is very needed for humans.
I really enjoyed the breathing techniques, seeing the exhalation and the inhalation.
The explosion of geometry into the butterflies. It's like, the tattoo I have here is a combination of religion and technology, this sort of conflict that exists, and that's what I saw with the geometry is sort of the science, and then the butterflies is just natural life.
Cool. If I had the opportunity to use it at home, I would totally go for it, like probably every day. When you start your day, just putting it up, take a moment to meditate, and yeah.
The balance of being in a beautiful world but also providing something to focus on was very effective. I like the idea you could incorporate that into a morning meditation ritual sort of thing.
I love the fact that you could just sit down and pop it on and chill out.
I would use this anywhere. If I could pull over in the car and throw it on for 5 minutes.
I struggle with normal meditation, so this is right up my alley of like a guided experience.
I would definitely use Tripp at home before I sleep.
The Calm program that I just experienced, it's in itself a spiritual practice that you can actually experience in the digital world. That was definitely the best VR experience I've had.
Welcome to Tripp.
So I was saying last night that I feel that all the things I've done in my life have prepared me to build this company. And when I think about our roadmap of the next, I can see a 10 to 15 year vision as these devices get closer and closer to our own metal, our own wiring. How amazing it's going to be if we can start to trigger those kind of responses with just, these very clunky devices. What's it going to be like in the next 10 years? I'm excited for all of us working on these types of experiences and the contribution that it's going to make to the world around us. So thank you for listening and allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you.